They say a girl's wedding day is the day she begins her life, but for Ma, it was the day she signed her soul over to a ghost. She followed him across the Atlantic for love, but when the golden gates of London swung open, she didn't find a palace. She found a prison built of her own family's secrets. This is the story of a dream that became a death sentence. In the heart of Umuahia, Ma was the morning lily. She was the youngest daughter of Chief Okoro, a man whose reputation was as solid as the ancient Iroko tree. Ma was beautiful, university educated, and sheltered, a combination that made her the perfect target. When Chike entered their lives, he didn't just walk, he glided. He arrived for the New Yam Festival in a gleaming Mercedes, his clothes smelling of London fog and expensive oud. He wasn't like the local boys. He was a returnee, a man of the world. He spoke of his multi-million-dollar logistics firm and his penthouse overlooking the Thames. Chike was the perfect son-in-law to elevate the family name. To Ma, Chike was a hero from a movie. Ma, Chike whispered one evening as they walked through the family's palm grove, the sun setting in hues of deep orange and purple. The world is so much bigger than this village. I want to show you the snow. I want to buy you diamonds that sparkle like the stars over the Niger. Will you be my queen? Ma, blinded by the shimmer of his promises, said yes. The traditional wedding was the talk of Igbo land. Chike paid a bride price that broke records. He arrived with trunks filled with George wrappers, Hollandaise wax prints, and gold jewelry. He gifted Chief Okoro a fleet of cars and promised to secure international export licenses for the chief's palm oil business. The village cheered as Ma danced in her coral beads and heavy ivory, her skin glowing under the natural firelight. She felt like the luckiest woman alive.
Take
Take
care
care
of
of
my
our
daughter.
daughter, Chief Okoro warned, his voice thick with emotion. With my life, Papa, Chike replied, his smile perfect and practiced. 2 weeks later, Ma was on a plane. As she watched the African coastline disappear beneath the clouds, she felt she was flying toward a dream. She didn't know she was flying into a trap. The betrayal didn't start with a scream. It started with a silence. When they landed at Heathrow, the mansion Chike had shown in photographs turned out to be a cramped, drafty flat in a grey, nameless suburb. The wallpaper was peeling, and the air smelled of damp and old cigarettes. The house is under renovation, Ma, Chike said, his voice now devoid of the warmth he'd used in the village. Security is tight. You must stay inside. London is not like Umuahia. People here are vultures. Chike's demeanor changed overnight. The romantic prince became a ghost. He left before dawn and returned long after midnight. He took Ma's passport for safekeeping at the Home Office and gave her no money, no phone, and no keys. Ma spent her days staring at the grey London sky through a barred window. The palace of glass was a cage. Whenever she questioned him, Chike's eyes, once so soft, turned into cold, hard stones. I am working for our future, Ma. Be a good wife and be silent. The breaking point came 3 months later. While Chike was in a deep, gin-induced sleep, a burner phone in his briefcase began to vibrate incessantly. Ma, driven by a desperate, soul-deep intuition, tried the code, the date of their wedding. It worked. She didn't find texts from a mistress, she found legal documents. As she scrolled through the photos and emails, the world tilted. Chike wasn't a logistics mogul, he was a reputation fixer, a high-level middleman for a Nigerian crime syndicate. Even worse, she found a marriage certificate. Chike was already married to a British citizen named Sarah, a woman he used to maintain his legal residency. Ma wasn't a wife, she was a social front. Chike had needed a traditional wife to show his associates in Nigeria that he was a stable, family-oriented man. But the final discovery shattered her heart into a million pieces. She found her father's signature on shipping manifests for industrial chemicals. Chike had used the marriage to gain Chief Okoro's trust, using the chief's legitimate business licenses to move illicit cargo through the port of Lagos. Her father wasn't just a victim, he was now, on paper, a criminal. When Chike woke and saw Ma holding the phone, the mask didn't just slip, it shattered. "You were a bridge, Ma," he hissed, his London accent disappearing, replaced by a harsh, guttural tone. "Your father wanted the prestige of a London son-in-law, and I wanted his licenses. We both got what we wanted. If you go to the police, your father goes to jail for life. I have the papers to prove he authorized every shipment." "You used me," Ma whispered, tears blurring her vision. "You made me love you so you could destroy my father?" "Love is for children," Chike laughed, a sound like glass breaking. "In this world, there's only leverage, and right now, I have all of it." That night, Ma realized that the morning Lily had to die so that a survivor could be born. She knew she couldn't call her father, the line might be tapped. She had no money and no passport, but she had one thing Chike underestimated, her knowledge of the village. She remembered a cousin, Chidi, who worked as a taxi driver in East London. She had memorized his number from a scrap of paper her mother had tucked into her suitcase. While Chike was out at a business meeting, Ma used the landline. "Chidi, it's Ma. The Iroko tree is falling. I need to leave before the forest burns." It was an Igbo proverb they used as children. Chidi understood instantly. She fled into the rain with nothing but the clothes on her back and a small USB drive she had stolen from Chike's desk. The drive containing the real manifests that proved her father had been forged. The aftermath was a whirlwind of fire. With Chidi's help, Ma reached a lawyer. The syndicate realized there was a leak. Back in Umuahia, the news hit like a thunderclap. Chief Okoro's compound was raided. The perfect marriage became the scandal of the decade. The shame was suffocating. Ma's reputation was dragged through the mud. People whispered that she was damaged goods, a girl who went to London and came back with nothing but a story. She had lost her husband, her home, her family standing, and her innocence. Ma stood on the balcony of a safe house, looking at the London skyline. She had the evidence to put Chike away, but doing so meant exposing her father's negligence to the world. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. An unknown number. A video file was sent. She opened it. It was a live feed of her father's compound in Umuahia. There were men in masks outside his bedroom window. A text followed. "The USB drive for your father's life. You have 1 hour. Choose carefully, Morning Lily." What will Ma do? Will she save the man who accidentally sold her out? Or will she finish the man she once loved? If you were Ma, would you give up the evidence to save your father? Or would you let justice take its course? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for part 2. You won't believe who Chike's real boss is.